Hi, everybody. This is Midwestern Talk, and today we have a guest, upcoming guest, Mr. Curtis. Actually, Dylan was not able to be present today. Dylan, we miss you, but Curtis will do. So,
Oh, thank you.
the topic of today it's going to be the deals that we see in our markets, and this is Jack's actually proposed topic. So he was kind enough to share that he still sees deals in his market.
Yeah, so I figured it would be a good way to start out the year. Why most real estate investors won't find deals, and we can share some of our what we're seeing in the marketplace. So, if you want, Lynn, I never shared screens in this before, but I'm ready to share a screen.
Yeah, you should have the share screen button
Oh,
at the middle of
page.
the screen. Yes.
So this is a place I've been looking at. It's been on and off the market several times in the past few years. I think it's a foundational issue
Wait,
just
wait.
by looking at some of the cracks.
We're
I'm not
not
sure if you can
seeing
see my
it
cursor,
yet.
but you can see some of the splitting right there, and you have the old sandstone foundation. And
Hmm.
parking is an issue with this one too.
Jack, do you want to try sharing again? I don't think I see it.
Oh, okay.
Do you see it, Curtis?
No,
Oh.
I don't.
Can you see it now?
There you go.
Yeah. So right here was a slight crack out. If you can see my cursor right there, and you can see it has the old sandstone foundation, and there's some larger cracks right there. You can see in the photo. So I think it's foundational issues. But this is a duplex, and it's in a half decent school district. It's not the best, but it's okay. It's um it's a larger lot duplex corner lot, and being where it's at, the taxes are a little bit less than it normally. And we'll scroll through some of the pictures. And as you can see, like the door is all blurry, so who knows what's going on there. But the railing looks nice. So cabin's a little bit dated. I was thinking, and I was thinking to myself, when it comes to the doors, I could just put in an extra piece of wood and some slow close fixtures, and just recut new doors, and then just paint the faces and the rest of the cabinets. I would probably
Mhm.
change out the countertops just because they're so outdated looking that it might be worthwhile, especially since you can do like a inexpensive butcher block for not that much money, and you could also put in, if you're going to do all that, it wouldn't be too hard to install like little minis right there with a range hood on top. Yeah, and flooring looks fine. The rest of the kitchen looks fine.
It seems functional as it is.
Yeah, I mean it's completely functional, and that might honestly be the better bet, is just to leave it alone. But yeah, it's a pretty nice looking place. It has it has carpeting. I know they always say don't get places with carpeting, but I'm not gonna rip out perfectly fine carpeting. This light either needs cleaned or something's going on with it. I never seen one so black.
The black light. So was this a single family house?
No, this one's a duplex.
Oh, okay.
I'm actually wondering if the kitchens are identical to each other and they look the same, or if they're just taking a lot of pictures of the same unit over and over again.
Hmm. What might each side? rent for there?
I actually have to remind myself how many bedrooms this is.
So it's like a 2-1, I think, in each side.
Yeah, 2-1. So 2-1s, that area, probably like about 900 a side. 8 to 900.
So you're bringing significant 1,600 at least, if not, right, 1,800. And then how much do you think you're gonna be able to spend just like doing this little updates that you think would be?
Being that I would do the cabinetry myself because I want some practice before I start building cabinets for other people, I'd probably have less than like, I don't know. I mean I have the paint involved because I want to paint them, and like 2 sheets of birch plywood. So probably, I don't know. I'd say the immensely play conservative, probably less than $3,000 because a lot of it I would just leave alone. And to be honest, I think realistically we're looking at under $1,000. But I wouldn't mind getting the tub surround glazed because of the tile, because tenants don't really clean the grout and stuff. So $500 for that. Call that probably like $300 for what I was talking about in the kitchen.
Mhm.
And if I had to do that twice, you're talking under $2,000, and then an extra 1,000 for anything else that I'm missing, because the roof looks fine. It looks like the chimney might need remortared, so that'd be like an extra 1,000. But that's just from what I could tell from the photos, so it's hard to say.
Right. So this will be something you would think it's worth it to look in person.
Yeah.
Now, just based off of the math there, folks are complaining that there's no deal, and you just pulled up the Zillow and found a 2% deal.
They ain't trying.
I'm not trying.
But
You know that zip code? Do you know like how much? Right now it's winter, obviously, and then we know it's hard to get somebody in and right away, even though your deal seems functional. Do you know how hard it would be to rent it out, like by April?
that
Springtime?
area is a little bit harder to rent out than like some other areas, and just because of it being part of an older town, and that town is kind of on the it's a little bit on the dying side, but they're putting more businesses in there, so it might pick up here. But it's a town that I like. That's why, and it's close to where I'm at, so I don't mind investing there. I would say by April, I could probably get it rented out.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, because just so when you say it's like dying, what does that mean exactly? Is it going to be like Gary, where half the streets are dead, or what's it going to be?
No. So what's happened with that area is the steel mill shut down, and I don't know when it was before I was born. So we'll just say pre-80s. Okay, the steel mill shut down, or might have ran through the 80s, but somewhere in the 80s or prior, the steel mill shut down. That was like the area's biggest thing, and then Westinghouse shut its doors in that area. So that's gone. But what's happening is now they're doing a lot of like little historic things in that little town, and they're dressing it up and making it look nice. And the other thing is there's a lot more smaller mom and pop businesses going in. So like you go there and there's like a couple little wineries and like little private theaters, and they're really dressing the place up so like people can go there for the day and have like have like a date or whatever, and then just kind of head out. And the town is all in all kind of like it's just like a small rural little town that not a whole lot goes on, so it's kind of a neat thing.
Hmm.
They're dressing up, making it look all fancy.
I didn't realize that Pittsburgh has like I know I went up to your Thursday, I can't really call, and I sent you guys two deals, and then like none of you, even though all of you invest in Pittsburgh, none of you know the area that I'm sending the deals to. Even though I'm subscribed to like Ace Properties wholesaling, like Midwestern email list, so I was like, I have no idea what Pittsburgh is like as a market, right? But I was like, I sent it to you guys, so like none of you knew where the zip code was. So I was just like, oh wow, so it is actually a cluster of little cities all around when you move out of the downtown area.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like even in the city, like I was trying to explain to a lot of people before we did the in-person meetup, is that Pittsburgh is built on a bunch of little city like towns itself, and it's just they're all clustered together and made a city. And it's really based on like the best way I try to describe it to people is if you if you look at the a topography map, that's the best way to actually figure out the layout of the boroughs. Is because like different hills are always acting as dividers, and different creeks and stuff, which you just see a massive drop off all of a sudden, act as barriers. So that's the best way to kind of learn Pittsburgh is by overlaying a topography map over top of like a Zillow map or a Google map.
Mm.
Do they have like here in my area they actually have like a GSI type system where you
Yeah,
can see county lines and topography, and for us like the wetlands are important and it kind of shows you that. Do you guys have a thing like
yeah,
that? Okay.
yeah. There is.
Flavio's here. Thank you for popping in. Late start wealth, and then
I
our
forgot I got my computer. I can actually see the chat today.
yeah.
Yeah, I think we have bots in the chat. Pretty sad.
Jeez. Jack, is this deal common in your area?
I say that's probably on the cheaper end, honestly. That one that we were just seeing,
Mhm.
but I mean, you can find deals that don't necessarily cash flow as much that will make sense. Like it's not uncommon to hit the 1% rule.
Hmm.
2% is a little bit uncommon unless you're in like a class D neighborhood, which that area isn't. But I'm thinking that house particular that I was just showing, I'll be willing to bet, especially since there's no pictures of the basement, that there's probably some structural foundation issues.
Okay.
And that's why it's listed at
That's
88,000.
why I think it's listed like that, because especially like those cracks being, you can see clear as day, and the photos is clearly shot from the other side of the street. I think it's only going to get worse the closer you get.
We have a special surprise.
Uh-oh.
Oh shoot.
Hi, Frank. I asked him to come and he just replied to my message before we had Curtis jump in. Oh, you're muted, I think, Frank.
Nah.
I think if you hit the M, it will unmute you.
Hmm.
No, we still can't hear you.
One more.
There it is.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
And there was only 4 choices. Good to see you guys. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, we're just going over deals in our markets, and Jack just showed at $88,000 duplex in Pittsburgh.
Oh.
And he just went down to the breakdown of what he thinks is there's something wrong with the deal or how much it would bring in rent.
Is that something you've seen in person yet?
No, not in person.
Sounds pretty inexpensive, even for your market.
Yeah, it is. It's in a bit of a dying town. One I haven't bought a property in, but I'm familiar with, because it's only just one city over from where I bought my first two. So it's not like something that's horrendously far away. But being that it's been on and off and on and off the market for a few years, I'm betting that there's probably something wrong with the foundation.
Yeah, that's kind of tough. Foundation work isn't always something you can access from the inside. So you might have to do some excavation or something like that to repair it from the outside, get things right.
Yeah, if you're going to do all that too, then that area of that town, you might as well see if you have terracotta plumbing and replace all that too.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to share my deal next. And I'm going to explain why I chose this, even though it might not look like a deal. Can you guys see?
Yep.
Okay. So this is a deal in Gary, obviously, because I invest in Gary. But there's a lot of people that say over the last year, like 2025, 2026, you can't find anything under 100K in Gary. Anything that's rental ready. And that's generally true. But since if you are a little more seasoned investor and then you don't mind taking a product in which you're going to have to add some value into, this is listed for $75,000. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. It's listed as a 1,800 square feet property, but that's not true. I think a lot of realtors in Gary count the basement square footage in the square footage of the house, and that's not accurate, right? Unless it's legally living in space, which this is not. So this is about 920 square feet, actually, the house. It's a brick building, and I love me some brick. This is a zip code that usually I look only through zip codes for 04 or 9 or 8. And then this is where I like to stay. So this fits my buy box pretty easily. And then when I look at the property, doesn't look as terrible, but the inside, it looks like it's been outdated. I have the wood paneling, which is not uncommon. And then the drop ceilings, which a lot of people hate, right? But in my mind are like, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Drop ceilings are very easy to repair, not so easily to remove and redo drywall. But the floor looks in a great condition if you look at it. The kitchen is outdated, but it looks like functionable. There's like some window thing over there that's just needs to go. Clean, floor style, old, looks like grandma's house, right? But what do you like about grandma's house? Grandma house, they
Has
have
cookies.
has what? Cookies?
Has cookies.
That seems like this is downstairs. I'm not 100% just inside the
Is
house.
that green or is that just or is
I
that supposed to be
don't know.
gray?
Yeah, it looks like green. Some wood paneling that's green, but there's carpet. Maybe this is the first floor. Maybe it is the first floor. We have some like AC thing going on here. Cool, right? Cool. So not bad. People are living here. Again, everything is pretty much outdated.
Oh yeah, the pink toilet. That's a nice personal touch.
Love it. I had pink toilets in my house when I moved in, pink and green.
And the tub's pink too, I was going to say.
I did glaze one of my toilets, and then going down. So it's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, right? So I think they're counting like I said, the basement as living space. There's an additional bedroom in the basement. Seems like somebody is actually living there. But yeah, brick on the back, a little porch, additional bathroom. I believe this is downstairs as well. But yeah, so grandma's house, brick building, 2-bedroom, 2-bath, $75,000. But this has been on the market for 114 days. So what does that tell me? That I can offer significantly less than $75,000. I would even offer 60 before I start offending the people that are selling this house. Also, when you go on the tax records, or if you see just selling the listing has not been moved. Titles hasn't moved like in 10 years. So somebody's been living there for 10 years. So something's already telling you, like if you have a house that hasn't sold like every 2 years, if you do see a house that's been sold every 2 years, then there's like a problematic house, right? Like somebody's moving all the time or selling all the time. That's a problem. But I can tell you that probably very old people live here. They're probably selling, right? Somebody's been living there for 10 years. So if there's movement and negotiating on the price, then I can I can send an offer for significantly less. We'll see if they're open to negotiation. Who knows? But the brick house, this will bring at least, if I only count it as a 2 bedroom, 1 bath, and I don't count the downstairs, this is 1,200 a month easily as in rent, right? And also, I have two ways to look at it. I can look at it as a long-term BRRRR, or a long-term rental. So if I was to upgrade this kitchen and this bathroom, for example, this kitchen and this bathroom, like just bring it to 2025, I can assure you this house ARB will jump to $160,000. So you could easily buy this conventionally if you find a broker that goes, loan to value under $50,000, which there are out there still. I have used those brokers in the past. So you can buy this conventionally, put some money into the house, like per room, I would say 20,000 for the kitchen and for the bathroom to upgrade them. If you want to go the extra mile and like replace the wood paneling, I wouldn't, you could do that, but I wouldn't really think that would be number one. I would just upgrade the kitchen and the bathroom, and then that would bring my ARB to 160. So this could be like a very long burr for you while you're getting rental income. If you want to just do that route, rental income, you're still cash flowing a good $500-$600 out of this house.
Nice. So, all right. So, Lynn, you're fantastic, but if you found this so easily, why might people say there's no deals in Gary?
Because this requires work, right? If you're thinking this is a long-term rental, then a lot of people would look at this and they will see the aesthetics are not great. But you have to look at it like no stuff, nothing. You like drop ceilings, right? A lot of people don't like drop ceilings. They want to change that. That's going to take money. And a lot of people don't see the vision. Like this is old, right? But that's still very functional.
Could you hold on this image for a second?
Previously?
No, this one right here.
Yeah.
So, you're saying if you would redo the kitchen?
If you wanted to bring your money out from the deal. So let's say I would to redo the kitchen and the bathroom, I would expect the price of the house will go up. So I could refinance, let's say in 6 months, even though I buy conventionally now, refinance 6 months, this will appreciate for $160,000 at least.
What would you change about the kitchen?
Oh yeah, like definitely countertops coming out. If there's a wall dividing, because I have a significantly similar house like this, and it's open layout. If there's a wall between the kitchen, the living room, and this kitchen, I will probably make it open concept, and take off the actual wood looks actually very nice. So I would change the faces of the cabinets. I would paint it somewhere agreeable blue or white. Replace the countertops. Now I'm putting quartz in my rental, so maybe consider putting quartz here too. Open like nice to sink. Basically, paint. Maybe the backsplash. I would do a cool backsplash, like flashy, the Art Deco kind of flashback. Who knows?
Is the stove gas or electric? Would you keep that?
I would take that out. Just leave it open.
You mean for your tenants to put their own in?
Yeah.
It looks like that's gas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking it's gas because of how the
The burners look.
yeah.
Do you mind if I go ahead?
What do you have to supply for appliances in Indiana?
I don't have to supply appliances.
Nothing.
Mm-mm.
Wow.
But to be competitive for other rentals, if they are good appliances, I'm not sure if this is even functional, right? I would think so because there's people living in the rooms. I would leave that in, or depends if it's as a burr and I'm taking money out, I would put a new oven. But if it's a long term rental, if this is working, then I wouldn't take it out and renew it. No.
Interesting. Because in Washington, we have to supply like life things like oven and fridge.
Yeah, no, I don't have to. I had tenants that I bought a house and it has all the appliances, the refrigerator and the oven. They were both functional. And when they moved out, they took both the appliances.
Mm.
Yeah, we had that in Illinois in the property that we just sold. As far as appliances, we weren't required to have a stove or a fridge, but we needed some source for cooking, so we would have been able just to supply a microwave. And like Lynn said, we were going to supply the microwave because if they steal that, it's only $100 compared to a stove. So then the tenant could supply their own stove. Lynn, I was wondering, do you have any concerns? Do you still have vacancies in Gary? Do you mind if I ask?
Yeah, so I have a total of 3. Actually, I just got a Section 8 voucher for one of them, so 2. And the one I cannot even market right now because I'm in the 2nd floor and there's no stairs. The stairs are being redone. So nobody can go upstairs technically. But the other one, I just finished burning. So it hasn't been in the market like maybe 1 week. No, 2 weeks now, like for rent. So, but that's the one that I don't think there's going to have any problems with renting out. Yeah.
Okay. That was the end of my question, is because you mentioned before that you did have 3 vacancies.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have 3, was there any concern that this one was going to take a while to rent?
I have a house actually just up the street from this, and this is a good zip code for me. If Gary, it's not like Pittsburgh in which you like, it's basically like a cross. This is Gary.
Mm-hmm.
And west of Gary, in my opinion, this is not, I'm not a broker, so I'm not damaging these zip codes. And this is where I like to keep buying, or southeast of Gary. So this is exactly where I wanted to do, either closer to university or on the way to Hammond, on the way to the borderline, Illinois.
Okay.
That's exactly where I want to do. And specifically, even more tuned in by that, the hospital between 5th Avenue and 15th Avenue, every property that I had here is appraised over $150,000. So I do want to stay in this square closer to Calumet City and Brunswick Park. So that's just for investing there for 3 years now. I'm not an expert, by the way, but just.
No, well, you've done a lot of research and it shows. So I know you've been there for 3 years and it sounds like you're concentrating to stay in Gary. Is that the case, or have you looked at any other markets?
Yeah, no, I'm looking to stay in Gary. I know Gary pretty good, I would say. And I can't even afford things around here, which is by the Hard Rock Casino Hotel, which technically I would like to own around here, or near the lakefront, this is the rich people's area, and this is near the Hard Rock Casino, which is where the convention center is going to be built. So I would like to buy here, but it's significantly higher price point for me.
Well, it sounds like a pretty good return, especially the way you were describing it. So when you say $500 a month, is that total cash flow or positive cash flow?
I haven't run the exact numbers. Let's see.
Queen of Gary.
If you're putting 20% down and getting a 6.4, I guess your mortgage would be 417, and I can say that you're gonna rent it out for 1,200. Even if, let's say, rent starts off right now during the winter, it's like 1,100, 1,150. You still have like at least $500 wiggle room in here,
Mhm.
right?
Seems
even
like that would hold.
yeah, and I don't think I would pay 75 since it's been on the market for 114 days. I would pay maybe 65.
Yeah, just if you got it for 60, how much do you think you would be putting into it to make it, not to redo the kitchen and bathroom, but just to make it clean and presentable for a rental? How much more do you think that would
Clean,
take?
I think 2,000, like just painting, cleaning, um, bathroom, maybe check, replace the shower, maybe switch out the toilet, $2,000.
And maybe some flooring. Did you mention flooring?
No, flooring, it seems like it's pretty well kept. Look at the flooring. Unless they left out the furniture and then there's holes in the floor.
Some
But
surprises.
it doesn't look bad when I see it here. But obviously, I would have somebody come and take a look and take a pictures and all of that, right? But the floor doesn't look bad to me.
Yeah, it looked like it had tile in the kitchen that looked pretty nice.
Yeah, it's like it's okay.
There was some white tile somewhere. Oh,
Yeah, there's carpet in the bedroom, so I would replace the carpet or see what's under there. If it's actually wood under there, which has happened a bunch of times in my, I'll just resand the wood, and a bunch of my rentals. So I don't know what's under here, right?
Yeah, I think on the stairs there's some beautiful shag. It was like red shag.
going down to the basement.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, burnt orange.
So
This is back in, okay? This is kind of like eclectic.
so before the call, I think it was you had told me that you only go there once a year.
Yeah.
So when you purchase a property miles and states away, how do you go and you actually, well, not you, but how do you get the work done?
So thankfully, I have a property manager that deals with a lot of projects. And she has three major contractors that she works with, and she has plenty of handyman. She has also handyman on payroll. And so it will be depending like what I would want her to do. Every time I try to get bids out of my property manager, all the contractors have like outpriced me for every single rehab that I put into, like any type of quotes or bids. So, and I've done it a lot, right? So I always end up going with the property manager. My property manager does draft up the scope of work in a contract for the contractor. And then I signed the with the contractor, I signed a scheduled payment.
Hmm.
So she makes sure everything is enforced according to the scope of work.
Oh, okay.
And I pay the contractor.
Nice.
Mhm.
Frank, is that kind of how you do it too? Because I know you're in like 50 different states, so
Yeah, we almost have all 50 covered, but in Gary, so we're with, there's really, well, I'm sure there's more, but there's 3 property management companies that we have taken a look at. We were with the Olson Group because the property that we bought was a turnkey, and they're kind of tied together with One Property Solutions is the property management company. They're not one company, but they work really closely with each other. And we recently switched over to with Angelo, but we did talk to the one that Lindsay's with, and they were pretty similar. So Angelo seems like a pretty good team. We had to get a few things done when the tenant moved out. It wasn't anything major, but they had it done really quickly and got it up for rent. we were surprised that we got a tenant in the middle of November, just before winter was approaching. So I was thankful for that. So far he seems pretty good. I'm wondering, not sure if I should ask this on this show, but maybe Lindsay, it seems like he has a lot going on every time, because they do have a WhatsApp chat also. And every time I see him pop up, they're having some meetup or some live, and it seems like he's busy there. And I'm hoping it's not taken away from his clients. Sometimes it takes a little while before I get a reply in my emails or things like that. So I was just wondering if he's maybe building that kind of a business up, that side of the business up so much that it's deterring from the other side.
Yeah, no, Angelo is a great hustler. He's younger, and I think when he started with Mike, I obviously got into real estate through Mike, right? And then Mike had, I think Angelo was a young realtor, so he was able to get deals, and then he grew his social media followings and his name in Gary, right? And he comes also from Tom Also's network, the turnkey company. So he was working with them for like years before he went on his own, became a broker and then a property manager. And I've been listening to Tom Also, the podcast about Gary, and then Tom Olson has been in business for like 30 years, I think. So he used to sell turnkey properties in Gary for 40,000, like back in the day, right? Now they're all over 100K. But he comes from that particular business, so he's very knowledgeable about Gary too. But I like you say, he's a hustler, so he's growing, right? He's not only growing his company, but he's has hands in like many different types of businesses, education, now property manager, his own broker. He has a team now. He has employees, so it's great for him. And he's my broker. He has brought me many deals. I bought many deals with him. So I don't really have anything bad to say about Angelo.
Yeah, no, I was just curious. I think we all need to. What I've enjoyed about working with him is that he seems really concerned about trying to save us money as the property owner, right? He and I think it was nice. He was considering things that, for example, he did a bunch of stuff for us on our place, and then at the last minute, they realized one of the doors needed to be replaced. And so he was bummed about that. But I said, it's okay, let's just get it done. And then after that, they realized the blinds needed to be replaced. And he was like, man, you guys are, have spent so much money getting this ready. I'll buy the blinds. And I said, no, you don't need to buy the blinds. So I understand what it takes.
Yeah.
So that kind of is what I mean, is he's really caring, and he's concerned that, he wants to help us make money in that market as well. So that's one thing that I really respect about him. I think we've had some strange things happening there. So the tenant's been in there a couple months now, and one of the things is that the water bill seems really high. So trying to find out why from here is difficult, like Curtis, you were alluding to it earlier, but it seems like, so we had the place checked. Angelo went and looked at the water meter. It wasn't running, so there was no leak or anything like that. But the first month they used like 10,000 gallons of water. And typically I did some research, and the water company was able to tell me the previous tenant used about 3,500, and there was 3 of them in the house. So that's like double. So the tenant was already complaining about the water bill, right? Which is kind of understandable. But if he's the only one using the water, unless somebody's stealing the water while he's there or something. So that's what I'm working through right now, trying to make sure that the tenant is happy and understands if he's using all that water or not.
Is he doing like a car wash? Is he hosting some laundry event?
Yeah, or his kids are really dirty or something. I don't know.
Yeah, the toilet is running all the time. Maybe the cap's not toilet.
Yeah, so that's where I'm at right now. I asked Angelo to go. So the next little thing is the water was in our name, so
Mm.
I was waiting for him to put it in his name, and they weren't doing it quickly enough, so I shut the water off. And when I called the water company a couple days ago, they said nobody's put the water in their name. So I'm like, if he didn't put the water in his name, how are they living? It was already a week since I shut it off. So that's what Angelo's going to investigate this week.
Yeah.
Maybe don't invest at a distance. I don't know.
Oh, geez.
But
Oh,
that's only one state, Curtis.
that's only one. Yeah, I know. We have 49 more. It looks like All Nighter, that was his event that you were talking about, the Crackle Barrel meetup.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna be there. I believe it's January or March. I'm not 100%.
Because he's there now, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so. What do you guys think about my deal?
Well, just based on the numbers, it sounds great. But the one part that Frank did bring up that would make me a little, I don't know if worried or concerned is the right word, but the vacancy
Mm-hmm.
is that it sounds like you're down to 2 now, which that's good. But also with the mortgages and the payments being so low, I'm sure with your portfolio, it's a little more comfortable to eat the vacancies.
Mm-hmm. True. And now the majority of my houses are burrs. Technically, I'm only paying interest on the money borrow, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then my HELOC. So that makes it everything more possible, more doable, more for me.
Yeah.
And where are you borrowing the money from?
A HELOC that I have on my primary.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I like the deal. I think it's a good one.
I was wondering why you hadn't made an offer yet.
I'm not buying. That's what I said.
I know that the last time we spoke, you were on hold and you were not happy about it, but
I'm still not happy about it. But now it's more chocolate. That's what I told Francis.
Yeah.
All Nighter says the event is January 18th.
Oh yeah.
So this
I
week.
won't be on Friday.
Nice.
I wish I could go, but I have to work.
Oh, work gets in the way.
It does. Is that that's not something that maybe you could wholesale to someone else? I mean, with the research that you've done, it seems like that might be a possibility. If you can't take the deal down now, but it seems like the way things are heading and interest rates surprisingly dropping, and it seems like they might go down a little bit more, that there's going to be quite a few more opportunities, when you're ready.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could lock it up at a lower price. This is all like hypotheticals, right? But I don't know. I don't have a clientele of like, what if somebody comes and they don't close? That's a different business that I haven't like dipped my toes on.
Yeah, I like your point though about it being a little grandma house, because it looks very clean.
Mm-hmm.
The house and everything is solid, just needs the updating. And I think, is that what you've been spending there on kitchens and bathrooms, 20 and 20? Or because I know for us, I just did an estimate for a bathroom and it was like 30 grand. And I know there's a difference between a rental bathroom and a homeowner's bathroom, but things are just getting so expensive. I think the materials were close to 10,000 for the bathroom, and then the rest was labor. But so it seems like there you might be able to do do one of those bathrooms for a little bit less. I know you talked about spraying the tub and maybe, have you ever resprayed the tile surround?
I don't think so. I don't think I sprayed the tiles around. I think I sprayed only glazed bathtubs. But bathrooms in my area are 10,000 to renovate, and because the bath our houses are smaller. The houses I buy are smaller, right? Like the bathrooms are like 5 by 8, not big bathrooms. So toilet, small vanity, like one cabinet vanity, one mirror, and whatever I have, like a new tub or a new surrounder tub, or just depends on like what is already there. But yeah, $10,000 for a small bathroom, and kitchen. The kitchen obviously can go up more, but it depends just on like your finishes, like granite top, like tops, or just wood. Or now I'm doing quartz, so it's a little more expensive. Uh, but yeah,
Do you have a place there that you have found prefabricated slabs, or do they? Because it looked like that slab might have been about 10 feet long, and I know here we can buy a prefab, so it already has the edges laminated and finished, and then they just have to cut the sinkhole, you know, for an undermount sink and do that. So it's pretty inexpensive that way. Do they do that there, or do they make them out of a slab?
I'm not 100% sure. They give me the quote for like the whole thing already. So the only thing that I paid like materials was one project in itself, and the majority of the things that came from was Lowe's or Home Depot. So whatever they had already on store. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I know the big box stores, they have ready-made laminate countertops, but I don't know that any of them carry prefab quartz yet. So
So Frank, in your area, what are you hearing from investors, be it in where you live or where you invest, on why they're not finding deals?
in this area, it's just expense. You know, I don't think I'm sure there are some really savvy investors that do some creative things, but I think the major portion of the investor population just thinks conventionally, you know. And here, the last year we remodeled a house. We put about 130,000 into it, and it sold for almost 900,000, and that's like one of the lowest ones that I've seen recently. Everything here seems to be a million plus. So if you consider buying something like that, and then also the renovation costs, if it does need work, it's pretty expensive. So to try to get it, you know, people talk about being all in at 60 or 70% of the ARV. It's pretty tough to do here. We've been looking for years and haven't run across anything that made sense for us. And that's why we ended up going other places.
And that's at least good for you and Cynthia for when you guys move up here.
We're hoping, yeah. Our property took a little dip this past year, but we're hoping, again, like with interest rates and stuff, if that'll help us be able to get a better price for our place. Then the other thought is that if it does that here, if we did go to Washington, it might be the same there, right? The prices might creep up there too. So
Yeah.
it might be a little bit of a challenge, but I think, you know, we've been working with Justin Cambra. He's been sending us properties, and his mind is just brilliant when it comes to thinking about other ways to use the property. You know, we talked to him about one last week, and first thing he said, you know, it was a big lot. It was a couple acres or more. And he's like, you know, you could fence that off and put in some parking spaces and, you know, build an ADU and different things like that to help bring in money when we bought it. So I like the way he thinks. And I really like, well, like most of the people in our group, he's really open about sharing his challenges. You know, he was talking recently about his sidewalk challenge, and that was expensive for him. But it's really nice to hear that even the larger, more experienced investors still go through things. So it helps us feel better when the little people have challenges too.
Yeah, and speaking of Justin, he's hosting an event tomorrow, 6 to 8 p.m. up in Bellevue. And so I'm thinking of making the trek up there. For me, that's about an hour drive. And so I might have to see what time I'm done with work tomorrow, but I'll probably make the drive up there. He's hosting a real estate meetup. And if you go to that, you'll actually be part of that cohort, and you guys will stay and connect with each other and Justin throughout the year to work on your goals. So,
Oh, nice.
yeah.
Cool. So he was advising you to purchase a house with an acreage?
Well, that's what we're looking for. So my ideal property, or our ideal property, would be, because one of my aunts is considering that she would go with us. So we would buy the property together, and we're hoping together we could pay cash. That way we don't have a mortgage anymore. We just have taxes and insurance to consider. And so we're looking for something probably, I would say 1 to 5 acres that already has 2 established homes on it, with room for a shop if it doesn't already have a shop on it. And yeah, this one was set up pretty nice. It was kind of a longer strip of property. The house was tucked over to the right, so there was plenty of room everywhere for everything else that we need. The other challenge about considering moving to that or any other state is the building limitations, I guess. So how do we know we can put an ADU, or how do I know I can put up a shop? So that kind of work is kind of hard to do from a distance, but that's what we're looking for. So this had a lot of property in the front where you could, like Curtis almost did the same, or had the same thought with his parking space right by his house. Just rent it for storage, and people can come put their RVs or boats, or you could even build a few small sheds, nice sheds, but that people could store things in to create income.
Yeah, the good news about Washington State is now in most places they have to allow you to build something, be it an ADU or DADU. Now, some municipalities make it harder than others, but Justin's a great resource to know which ones to work with or which ones not to work with. Just because you can, that doesn't mean they always make it easy. And so, but Washington just passed a law like last year, basically saying all counties have to have some rules in place and easy to find. And so I'm sure you just talked to Justin, he'll send you the websites for wherever your search is for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Is it King County that Dustin's warning against? Is that where Seattle and all that mess is happening right now?
That's where Seattle is. Yeah. Though, with that said, though, with King County, there are some spots that are awesome. Like they have pre-made ones, they have streamlined systems. Now they do have fees that go along with all of those, but at least the process is a little bit easier. And then where I'm at in Pierce County, sometimes the fees aren't as low, but it can just take forever because I think that's where Justin is currently having his sidewalk issues down here in Pierce County, because it's newer for us. King County and Seattle have been doing this since 2019. They've had these rules in place, whereas for us it's so new. It's just a shit show, really.
Yeah, our county here has for years have said they're trying to streamline things and lessen the cost, but that never seems to happen. My mom was going to do an ADU on her place, and this was in 2018, but it was still like $23,000 just to submit the plans, right? So that's cost prohibitive. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you could buy a place in Gary for all of our permit fees
and have it done. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think that's the interesting part about. I was listening to a podcast about when people say that they're in like real estate, you don't even know what that means because it's so different from everywhere and you go, right? Like you could be a developer, you could be buying holds, you could be in Gary, you could be in California. Very different process that you would have to kind of go through.
That's a cutie pie. Whose cat is that? Is that Cynthia's or yours?
This is Cynthia's. His name's Willard.
Aw, I have two cats.
Talking to you.
You mentioned cat. So one of our challenges this year for going to Vegas is our cat, because he'll be alone for 8 days. So we've gotten Cynthia has someone that is going to come by and check on him and check his food and water every day, and check his litter box. But we're getting like an automatic feeder. Do you guys have that for your cats?
Yeah, especially when we go on trips, we feed them twice a day. We don't free feed, so our ones has like a audio message that you can send. It's time to eat. Let's go. Come on. Blah, blah. So it gives the whole like it's like 6 a.m. Let's go eat. Come on. So like, we can have our voices displayed at the time, so the cats come and to their individual feeders and they eat.
Okay. Yeah, we got the watering bowl. So the watering bowl is different because most of them are like the fountain style. And we think our cat wouldn't drink out of something that was running water all the time.
Mhm.
So we ended up just getting the one with basically the jug on it so it can gravity water. And then we did order the automatic feeder. And like you said, it has where you can set the message. It even has a camera that's motion
Mhm.
activated so you can see when he comes to eat.
Yeah.
We're thinking of putting a small camera in the bedroom because he sleeps on our bed, and just to make sure that he's still breathing,
Hmm.
stuff like that. So it's quite a consideration. Last year, our son came, or the first year when we went to Vegas, our son came home for the week and took care of the cat, but they were just here, so he can't do that again this year. I don't know about, like, would you consider, how they people do that for a living? They're just cat sitters and cat feeders and stuff. Would you invite someone like that into your home? And
I haven't yet because I used to have friends that like I would pay to go and see in my home. I had friends come and stay in my home. But also like my family is extremely pet friendly too. So even I have a dog too. So I would leave my dog with my sisters or my niece or my mom. But now that I have cats, it's more my boyfriend's family that takes care of the cats when we go on trips. They'll come like every 2 days because we do have the feeders and then the water balls and all those things. So I'll come every 2 days just to empty the cat litter box or throw it away and then just spend 10 minutes with the cat and then come back again.
that this kind of turned away from real estate, but have you used the automatic cat boxes, the ones that clean themselves?
Yes, I haven't used them yet, but my boyfriend has like extreme research about all of these cat litter boxes, and apparently there's been a couple cats that suffocated in these boxes. So he only would be able to purchase the most expensive one. I think it's just like him trying to be extra, but the most expensive one is like $670 or something. So I haven't invested the money on that yet. But if he wants to, he can, yeah.
Yeah, our cat has a weird personality. Like I said, he sleeps on the bed during the day, and so we've had to keep him inside for about a couple of weeks ago because there's a mountain lion stealing people's pets, and he took a German Shepherd, he took a sheep, he took the German Shepherd right off the people's back porch. So from then on, the cat hasn't gotten to go outside, and he's not happy about it. And so, he'll be sleeping on the bed, and we'll go in and try to pet him, and he just takes off, like he just goes. But then at night, he's like all over us, like he's even calling us to come to bed at 9 o'clock at night. So I'm just worried. Well, I'm concerned that if we're gone for that long, if it will mess them up psychologically or anything like that.
My cat is only inside, so they know oh, this is controversial, but like they know that we're gonna come back.
Yeah, I mean, I was doing research and they're talking about, leaving a piece of clothing with your smell on it
Mhm.
so that they're more comfortable and things like that.
Mhm.
So we're going to try all the different things and hopefully, and I was chatting with ChatGPT and it says, be ready for them to ignore you for a week after you get
Mhm.
back. So
Yeah,
I guess we'll have to deal with it.
I think we suffer more than they suffer when we go on vacation. Yeah.
I imagine so. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. I have a friend, she's a parent educator, and so she'll work at the school or whatever, and then she'll go and watch people's homes when they're on vacation or watch their pets or I'm like, wow, you're like house hacking another person's home.
It seems like a pretty good little business.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, Cynthia reconnected with a couple of her students, and so one of them is the one that she's thinking that will come and take care of the cat while we're gone. But it's funny, she's been at it for a while, so these young guys are already have their careers going and married and all these things that you just don't believe how fast time flies. I remember them still when they were in 6th and 7th grade, and that was a long, long time ago.
Oh, Late Start Wealth is also about to move to Washington too.
What's that?
I said Late Start Wealth is also planning to move here to Washington.
Oh, John. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we were talking.
Yeah, he was up here during November, I think, or December, and we had lunch and we talked stuff. And yeah, I think we need more ORAP people here.
Well, he is going to the event, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm super excited to meet him. There's a lot of people in the group that we've been communicating, and since we didn't get to go last year, there's even more now that I have a long list of people that I just have to meet. So that's going to be pretty awesome.
Oh no, all-nighter hider. He says my little girl Willow wants to go outside so bad. She got a bug last time and has been recovering.
Yeah, ours was indoor, outdoor, so it's been tough on him.
Yeah. So I have you guys, and then you guys do ADUs. Cortez, would you ever build an ADU?
I'm open to the idea. The property that I'm at now, there's probably space for it. To be honest, but I think ADUs, I would probably maybe partner with somebody that has done it before, or maybe I would. I don't know because I've never built or
Mhm.
even done like a full rehab. I've done like cosmetic stuff, but and never like to the studs. I feel like there's a lot of stuff that I'd have to learn,
Mhm.
and if you miss one step, at least in our area, it can set you back a while. And so I'd probably want to partner up with somebody that's done it.
Wouldn't you feel just hiring a contractor that's done it in the past?
Yeah, true.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Or would you rather partner with someone like Ray?
I don't think Ray's built here before, but I actually just went to an event last week. There was a Dadu guy there, and the fare that he charges is fine, but he does all the permitting for you, and he's pretty reasonable and upfront about what things cost and what timelines are, and having a person like that, not just a normal GC, but like a person that only does daddies, I think would be the route that I would go.
The permitting process, you just kind of have to talk to an engineer about, like a architect about. So if you like talk to an architect that's pulled the permits ready or like around your houses and stuff like that, he will be able to walk you through the permitting process. It's
Mm.
not that difficult. I was gonna show you guys see if I have a space to do one more ADU in my house, but it looks weird, and I'm worried about like make my house look like a Frankenstein house because and then how it would impact the resale value. Because right now the data that I have is completely detached, so it's like its own entity kind of thing. Um, do you see this?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is the main house, right? This L-shaped house, and this is the detached EDU that I have already built. And it has its own entrance. It has its own door. Like there's no commingling of the two houses. But now I have all this lawn on the front that I can build, like this yellow thing. I could build an additional unit, but then now I feel like the house is gonna be like, what the heck is going on here? What do you think?
I mean, who cares? Is there? I'm sure there has to be other properties like this in the area.
Not really, no.
No, you would be the first one to have an
Yeah,
ADU
if
and
I probably pull the whole map,
okay.
there is a bunch of like, yeah, this is a corner house. So the yeah, that's the only thing that I see. Like I'm thinking about resale value and if it's gonna decrease the resale value because it's gonna be a 3 unit and a 1 lot kind of thing. Um,
Yeah, because in like Seattle, this is super common.
oh
Like
yeah,
to kind of just make it work. And so, but like real estate is very local. So, are you thinking of selling soon? Because if it's not soon, then I don't think you should be too concerned about a resale.
yeah. No, I'm not thinking about selling soon. I'm just thinking about the future and like what's the best move. But
That's kind of the same point I was thinking too, Curtis. So when we're doing extensive remodels, right, new kitchens and new bathrooms in a home, people get concerned that what they pick is not going to be good for resale value.
Mhm.
But that's what I tell them. If you're going to be there for 5 years or a little more, you should enjoy it the way it works for you. And I mean, unless you're doing something really dumb that's going to bring the value down. But with what you just showed, Lynn, I think I would, um, whoever your architect is, could probably make that blend in so it might look like the original home. So on your little yellow piece, the roof line, maybe have it match the roof line on the other side, so instead of having like the shed come down towards the front, just change the pitch and have it come the other direction and both ridges would match. Maybe you had the little portion that went down the side, maybe make that longer and make the front shorter so that the two sides kind of look the same from the front.
the only problem is because I stopped it there because there's a window.
Mhm.
And then I will have to reconfigure the main house, and I don't want to do that. I want to make it easy for me, so that's why I did it like this narrow kind of thing. But
Yeah. The window, I figured there was a window there, but if you did go all the way down that wall, and it does add a little bit of cost to changing your original house, but if the window's blocked off, you could add a skylight there for light. Yeah, I think there's some things you could do architecturally that wouldn't make it look Frankenstein-y.
yeah,
I think it's worth it. I think especially in your area, I really couldn't see the value dropping because you had the ADU there. I think that would be more appealing to people, especially older people like us who are going to be multi-generational living and stuff like that. You put your mom in the front, you're in the big house, and then throw your husband in the garage one. And
throw your husband in the garage.
but yeah, I think it's a good idea if you. And again, I mean, it probably take a couple of years to get through the process. You think?
Probably a year, yeah.
Yeah, from permitting to finished building, only a year.
Yes, because the reason why my permitting on the back was so hard is because it's close to a power line. and then so LADWP had to get involved, and that was the office that we were waiting on. Normally, it takes 3 months to get permits done. So
Yeah, that'd be pretty good because then you could enjoy it sooner, and even just say, even if you moved, you have 3 units to rent there,
yeah,
and keep it
and
local.
it doesn't disqualify me for saying no buying because I'm technically no buying. I'm like I'm finding a loophole to like not do any real estate this year.
Mhm.
Yeah, late start wealth does bring up a good point. It's more about how it feels on the inside, and then what the outside separation is. Like, is there fences or slats or what?
Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do because initially I was like, oh, instead of because I have a lot of landscape, but I lost my garage, right? So I'm gonna put a driveway in the front of the house, and the city told me you can't have an additional driveway. So I'm like, okay, that plan is out of the window. What can I do? And then I was like, let's do a detached garage, another detached 80 dadu, another detached at ADU. And then they're like, no, you cannot have two at the same time. It has to be one detached, one attached. Okay.
So the other thing, when my mom was going to do hers, as far as being attached, it only needed to be the roof line that was attached. So even if it was like a little carport, and the roofs all were attached, they were okay with that here. So maybe there's a breezeway between your house and then the new little house, but with the roof attached. And then that played into how many square feet she could have. With the attached roof, she could have a few more square feet in the extra unit. So it's kind of tough because if you just do one or two over your investing journey, sometimes you miss things that could, like, why didn't somebody tell me this when I was doing it? So you'll miss some of those little details that could be beneficial for you. So like Curtis was saying, find somebody who's done it and throw your idea at them, and they'll, just like we do with other investors, right? Well, did you think about this, and this? At least in that ADU realm, you might get some information that might just be aha for you, so yeah, turn it sideways, put a carport, attach the roofs, and we're set, instead of gluing it to the front of the house.
Yeah. I had a lot of excavation in the front of the house because of the sewage and the water and everything. So my lawn died. So my lawn died. Now it's like brown in front of the house, and it's a lot of landscape, right? That is just brown, so it's ugly. But I'm gonna have to leave it as it is until I figure out what to do.
How many square feet do you think the little place would be
That's almost 2,000 square feet of
for the
lawn.
new place?
No, for the
Yeah, for your ADU, how many square feet do you think that would be?
oh, that's a 440.
Hmm.
That yellow part.
Jack, there's probably not a whole lot of ADU or DADUs being built where you're at because probably the cost of purchase is so low that folks don't normally just buy, right?
Yeah, it's really uncommon in this area because even like there's some properties that I've looked at in the past I thought about buying that were like duplexes side by side that the attic was completely vacant but was somewhat partially built out, and I was thinking to myself, oh, that would make a good third unit. You just have one unit on top of the other two because they already had, all you'd have to do is just knock a hole in the wall, and because they'd have stairs that would go down to the second floor, just knock a hole in the wall there, put an external porch down from there. And I realized that the cost to do that is just, it outweighs, like you could go buy another duplex almost.
Yeah, a lot of those houses, the one we have in Gary, the triplex, has a huge attic, enough for a studio, but the way the stairs are built, it's kind of tough to get like furniture and stuff into the unit, you know, things like that. So we haven't really moved past that point.
Yeah, and then Lynn, or even Frank, is it popular to like condoize it down there and sell each one?
It's not popular. I think it's more popular in Washington. There are, what are they called? Ticks? Tenants in common, ticks.
Hmm.
There are ticks that are sold on like Zillow and Redfin. I see them, but I see like maybe 3, 2, 1 like at each time. I never see like massive amount of ticks.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, where Big Cody Evers, he's up in Wisconsin, and he's done that a couple of times, and he had me thinking about it too because we have a duplex in Milwaukee, but the garage setup wasn't the best for that kind of thing. It's like you sell one and who gets the garage. So I think his setups are better because they're kind of like Dion side by side with the garage in the middle or the garage is on the end. So once you split it, you have a whole unit.
Mhm.
And he's been very successful at it there. I had heard Justin Camber talk about it a couple of years ago, and then Cody did it. So he made it quite profitable because he sold one unit for quite a bit more than he could have sold the whole duplex for.
Mhm.
So by doing that, he gained several $1,000s on each side.
Nice, yeah. And sometimes just because you condoize it, that doesn't mean you necessarily have to sell each side, but sometimes you can get a loan for each, or like it just provides more options because now it's like 2 actual properties.
Yeah, and I think for him, the cost wasn't very much. I want to say it was like $5,000 or less
Mm.
to actually do the condoization as far as paperwork and all the, whatever he had to do to make that happen, like to split the property or whatever. It wasn't very much, but I don't think it's that way for every state or things like that.
Yeah, we asked Dak Nguyen, right, on school how much it costs to split the lot here. He said $20,000 in California just to split, like on paper, the parcel's ID. So that's a lot. And I know hooking a usage system to your new building is $30,000. So that's already 50.
That's what I was going to say earlier about doing an ADU, because do you recall there's a company in Las Vegas that some of the people went and toured that makes the prefab ADUs?
They're modular something, right? Like mod something, I think.
I forget the name.
Yeah.
Something box. But again, going back to what we're looking for in Washington, we're even considering, because sometimes you'll see a property that says there's no value in the home, right? So you need to tear it down, but at least there's a water and a septic system.
Yeah.
So maybe you pour a pad and drop one of those on there. It is something that we're considering too.
I'll raise you one to that because I found this out
Thank you.
in California. Let's say I purchase a tiny home, a prefabricated 300 square feet tiny home or 200 square feet tiny home. If you have it on wheels, it's not considered an additional dwelling unit, right? It's considered just like another vehicle in your lawn.
Mm-hmm.
So you can buy a couple of those and put their license plates and pay the registration there.
Yeah,
but they're still like rentable spaces, livable spaces.
Yeah, and it wouldn't cost much to put a foundation under something that small. Cynthia brought me that thing. It's Boxable, is the name of the company, and they were one of the first ones we heard of doing that. But now online, there's a lot of companies that they're very reasonable, and they'll transport them quite a distance to to put them on the property.
Oh, those are cute. Boxable.
Boxable.
Yes.
That's cute. I
Yeah.
love tiny homes. I wish I could live in like a tiny home.
Yeah, we think we could do that too. The other thing about like here, I don't think you could leave it on wheels. I think like if somebody buys a property and they're going to build a home and they're living in an RV while they're building the home, they can only be in the RV for a year, and then the home has to be done. They can extend that a little bit. I think you can go up to a couple of years because most homes here can't really be built in a year, especially the size and scope that they do here. But Cynthia's even considered, there was one like a tiny home village for sale, you know, and that would be kind of cool because it had so many spots and a lot of them were filled already with tenants, and then there was a main house. So it's kind of like house hacking, right? You live in the main house and then you have all these renters around you, which is kind of cool.
How much are these like tiny homes? Have you looked into?
Well, they really, you'd be surprised. Some of the people advertising online, they start at like 60 and they can go up from there. Um, Usually the ones that I see are similar to a modular home. They're kind of long. So they'll have the living room in the front. It's open to the kitchen. Then there's a bathroom right behind the kitchen, and then the bedroom's in the back. So I forget how many square feet. It's been a little while since I've really paid attention, but they have some really nice layouts, and they look big enough for a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like with those, you got to be really organized, because if you if you leave a thing out, it's not like a normal house. If you just leave a thing out, it's like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. But a tiny house, it makes it look messy. There's 2 coats down.
This is like, I am 6 foot, whatever.
Yeah, or like when you're talking about the tiny house, I always think of like a loft. And
Yeah.
I'm like, me and Frank are gonna hit our heads. We're gonna fall.
Yeah, my thing is, well, you wake up and you need to get to the bathroom really quick. You're gonna fall and you're not gonna make it.
Yeah. Oh, geez.
Yeah,
All of you guys are pretty tall.
yeah. I think I don't know how tall is Jack. How tall are you, Jack?
I'm only like 5'10".
Okay. So closer to Mark's size. I don't see Mark. He must be still recovering from his win.
Well, he was in the chat, and then I said that we had bots. So.
Oh.
Wow. That's a business, all-nighter hider. You build it for $8,000.
Wow.
Yeah, the place he has at his folks.
You don't need insulation. You're in San Diego.
Yeah,
Like,
it does get a little chilly though.
yeah, no, it does. I joke that my house has no insulation because it's old, right? It's built 1960, I think. So it's windy where I live, which is unlike LA, but I am in a valley, so it's pretty windy. But yeah, we don't, like when I go into the ADU, the new Dado, it's like so hermetically sealed, like the insulation is great. And I go into my house, I'm like, it's fucking cold here. Sorry.
Yeah, we're the same. In our little house, everything's electric. The stove, the water heater. We don't have propane or gas. So and ours was built in 46. So there's no insulation in the walls, and it gets pretty cold. I think I forget what it got to outside last night, probably in the high 30s, but inside it was 50. So we have to get up an hour early and turn on all the heaters before we get ready for work. Otherwise we'll freeze.
Mm.
Do you want anything else? Do you want to add anything else, Jack?
No, I think we're good. Seems like we're at a good place to wrap this week up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've been
Thanks
going
again for the
a
invitation.
Yeah,
Curtis, do you
anytime.
have anything to say? Do you want to engage people in coming up to your, I don't know, you want to send somewhere and see
Yeah. I tend to post events that I go to. Like October, I was at like 10 events. In November, I was at probably eight events. And if you want to get in touch with me about anything in Western Washington, feel free to reach out to me on Instagram, PE turned RE, and I'll be glad to help you out with anything that you need.
Awesome. Thank you guys for watching.